drinking whiskey, watching TV in this lonely motel room. Never been all that religious, but I'm looking for forgiveness. And if this suntan TV...
Hey guys! So today I decided I was going to show you a bit of my bookshelf. So I am going to be doing a book review today. I'm going to go over just a couple of series that I really love and I've been really into either for a long time or recently. And that's just a small chip out of my bookcase because my bookcase is ginormous. And it's full. So as you can see, there's a lot more books that I could show you if you guys are interested in other book series or just interested in seeing some other stuff. But for now, I'm going to be showing you a few of my favorite series and a few new ones that I've just gotten into. Let's start with this one. So, David Clement Davies, The Sight, one of my favorite books. I am a total wolf lover, so of course this appealed to me right off the back. But it is basically about a pack of wolves, and it's from the perspective of the wolves, and there's magic and a legend, and it's just very exciting and interesting, especially if you love wolves and magic and that sort of thing. There is a sequel. I don't actually own it, but I've read it, and it's amazing, called Fell, which is about another of the wolf pack who's kind of on the darker side. And it's just a really good series and very interesting. All of his books are. I also have two other books by him. I'll grab them quickly. Don't want the rest of my stuff to fall. I'm kind of balancing my school stuff on top. Oh, it's good. I have Firebringer, which is about a deer, and that series is also very interesting. And that one's, about a deer whose father dies and basically his growing up, and it's just a very interesting series. And again, there's lots of magic and adventure, and they're just really cool. This one, The Telling Pool, is about a boy who meets a blind blacksmith and ends up getting involved with basically tarot cards and a whole bunch of magical incidences. Yeah, and he basically goes on a quest, and it's just a very exciting book, and I just love this author's writing. He does very interesting stories, and they're really well written. So those are my first three. Sight is one of my favorite books. Alright, what's next? Let's go with The Cuckoo's Calling. Anyone else love Robert Galbraith / J.K. Rowling? She's definitely one of my favorite authors, and Robert Galbraith is definitely coming up quite close because this book rocks. It's definitely up there on my favorite books right now. I wasn't very into mysteries before, and of course I read it because I heard it was J.K. Rowling. Yes, I know, not something you're supposed to do, but it's J.K. Rowling, so I had to read it. And it blew me away. Oh my gosh, it's a roller coaster. It's so exciting, and you're on the edge of your seat trying to figure out who the murderer is the whole time. And it's just one of those things that you don't know who it is, and there's so many possibilities of who might have murdered her that it's just amazing. And J.K. Rowling, Robert Galbraith, does a great job of portraying the protagonist and all the different characters in a way that makes them all very real and raw, and I just love her writing, and it's just amazing, and you should try reading it. Well, you should read it because you will love it if you love mystery books, J.K. Rowling, Robert Galbraith. If you love just well-written books, you'll enjoy it because it's very good, and it's quite funny too, actually. My third series is Brent Weeks' The Night Angel trilogy, and I have the big book. They're actually like 3,000-page books, but it's amazing. So pretty much this series is about a boy, Durzo Blint. Yeah, Blint. Durzo Blint, I can never pronounce his name, who began as a street boy, basically just a poor orphan named Azoth, and then he changes his name and becomes an assassin, Wet Boy. And it's just really well written and very, quite a dark series, but I love the way the characters are portrayed, and there's just some very interesting, I just love how it's written. It's about magic, politics, romance. Not so much romance, but you know, he's got a girl that he's interested in. And obviously, since it's a dark book, you don't know what's going to happen between that. But it's very dark, and there's lots of possibilities of what could happen. But you should read it because it is amazing. And it's super well written. And if you like long books, it is amazing. And even if you don't like long books, it's one of those books that doesn't matter if you like long books or not, you will get into it and you will be sucked in and you won't put it down. Like, I read these in probably a week straight. Next I have an Irish author. Her books, actually, I think these ones, I know for sure this one and this one are out of publishing now. The Singing Stone. I think you can get them on Amazon, though. I know my mom bought this one on Amazon for me. But The Singing Stone is about an orphan girl named Kay Warwick, who, at 18, she gets sent a package of books, and it turns out they're all Irish myths. And so she decides that it's a sign and goes to Ireland to try and find out where these books are coming from, and ends up being sucked into the past. And she basically goes and has to collect these 3 objects in order to get back to her own time. And it's just a very interesting book. It's called The Singing Stone. And the author is O.R.Melling, and she's amazing. Like, I love all her books. And then the next one I have is The Druid's Tune, which, again, is about, I think they're twins. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's twins. They're twin siblings, and they go to visit their uncle or something. And they meet this stranger who's staying at the house, and it turns out he's actually a druid, again, from another time. These are all kind of connected. Not completely, but slightly. And he basically accidentally pulls them back into his time period. And they basically go on a huge adventure, and it's just amazing. It's so well written, and it's not childlike at all. I read it as a younger girl, but it was probably way too advanced for me anyways. I read a lot of more advanced books as a kid because I could read a lot. And my final O.R.Melling books, it's a series, so I call it books. But, oh my gosh. I've read them too many times, obviously. Look at the wear on those things. They got it all taped up on the side. This one's in better shape, but I've had this one longer, and apparently I've taken better care of it, but it's also getting a little scrapped up. This series is The Chronicle of Fairy, and I am obsessed with fairies, so this is like one of my favorite, well, it pretty much is my favorite series. It's a story collection of, this one is 3 books, technically. Not The Druid's Tune, that was the last one. The Summer King, Hunter's Moon, and, what's the last one? Lightbearer's Daughter. And they're pretty much about 3 girls. One's fully Irish, one of them's Canadian, but she goes back to visit her cousin in Ireland. And the third one's about 2 twin sisters who go to Ireland, and one of them actually dies while they're in Ireland, but that's in the past. And then her sister comes back to Ireland to spend time with her family and has to go basically and do a quest for the fairies who were apparently involved in the death of her sister. And they're just really good books. I can read you a bit of a synopsis. So the first one, what's it called? Hunter's Moon. It says, Gwen discovers that Fairy is not all fun and feasting as she strives to rescue her cousin Finevere, from the great worm of the night in the Hunter's Moon. Having returned from Ireland from the circumstances of her sister's death, this is the second one, the Summer King, Laurel is caught up in a mission to find the Summer King. And then the third one, the Lightbearer's Daughter, Dana is running away from the away into the fairy mountains to search for her long-lost mother. Those weren't very good synopsises, but, you know, they're really well written, and if you like fairies and magic, they're great. They're quite dark, actually. Like, you'd expect from fairy stories that they'd be a little lighter and more childlike, but these ones are very dark and more of an Irish story than anything else. But they're really well written, great descriptions, great characters, and they have, well, if you like layout, they have beautiful titles. I don't know if anyone's interested in that, but they've got like Celtic symbols and they have maps and all that stuff. I'm totally gimmicky, but at the same time, I just love good books. But anyways, they have lots of very interesting stuff. This one is actually a sequel to The Light Bearer's Daughter, but it connects into all three of those. So if you're going to read this one, you have to read the other three first. But that's no problem because they're not super long each. They probably take, well, they took me probably a week each, but I'm a really fast reader. For a normal reader, maybe a month. I don't know. It depends on your speed, but they're pretty entertaining. They're very entertaining, and they're good reads. So this one is about the main character, Dana, from the last book, and she moves to Canada with her dad. And it's pretty much about her adventure adjusting in Canada, which I'm from Canada, so again, Canada and Ireland are my two favorite places, and I'm going to go to Ireland. But this pretty much sums it up. And it ends up that she actually meets the other characters. So it's very interesting tie-in from that book, and really well written. This one's really destroyed for some reason, I think because I've read it so many times, because this one's actually the newest book. This one came out in 2003, so it's not super old, but it's totally worn down because it's one of my favorites. I should really replace the cover, actually. Really good series. Alright, next I have the Inkheart trilogy, which is Inkheart, and they're by Cornelia Funk, which also, as you can see, is super worn. It has tape all over it as well. And then Inkspell, I really like hardcovers because they don't wear as much. Inkspell and Ink Death. And they're, again, very, very good books. And this one is about, well, a series about Maggie, who is a daughter of a bookbinder. And she is an avid reader, loves to read. And it turns out, well, there's this whole mystery about her mother missing and all this other stuff. And it turns out that there's this whole involvement with her father and these people who have come out of Inkheart, the book. And pretty much she has to, well, she's trying to unravel the mystery of why this is happening, and then they get sucked into this whole adventure with these characters from the books. And then obviously a whole bunch of stuff goes down the road with these guys. But they're very dark, very well written. They have great descriptions. If you love reading, they're wonderful because it's all about being sucked into books and books coming alive and characters. And it's just really, the characters are really well written and really well rounded and very amusing. Like, they have very fun descriptions, and they're just really well written characters all around. She writes, well, Cornelia Funk writes really good books, and I've read them probably 4 or 5 times each, and they're just amazing. And then I have 2 more series to show you, and then we can split it off for another video if you want. If you do enjoy this video, please tell me in the comments, and I can make a second video showing you a few more series that I really enjoy. So this series is, I'm not actually sure what the series is called. The first one, though, is Graceling by Kristen Cashore. I can't say her last name. Cashore, I think? Anyways, this one's about basically these people called Gracelings who have special abilities. So some are really strong, some are very smart, some can move really quickly, and pretty much it's about them in their world and they're pretty much outlawed because they're dangerous to normal people. And this is about Katza, who is the main character, who is a Graceling. And it's a very interesting adventure, and again, very funny, and just really well written if you like fantasy adventures. Sequel is Fire, which is actually about a completely different character. I guess I'm not sure if it's actually a sequel. I'm pretty sure it is because they tie together. And this is about... This one doesn't even say her name. Well, her name is Fire. I should have guessed that. I haven't read this one in a while. I just got a new copy, actually, because mine went missing. But Fire is about a fiery redhead who lives in another world compared to the other one, and she pretty much starts realizing that she can control minds. She realizes she can control minds, and basically this continues on, making her another Graceling, but it's just a really interesting tie into that one, and it starts to make more sense as you read the connections between the two. And it's completely different from the first one, but a completely amazing book as well. I'm not sure I like both equally. They're both amazing. and they just tie together really well. It's a really well-rounded series. The third one is Bitter Blue, which is about another character, a girl named Bitter Blue, and she is, well, it's a companion to Fire and the sequel to Graceling. And she is pretty much a princess from, you meet her in Graceling and they reference her in Fire. And it just is, oh, really amazing. I can't give too much away because it gives away the other two books, but they tie in really well. And come on, look at the design on this book. It's just, it's beautiful. If you like good books, I have a thing for books. Like, if you have to, if you look at the designs, they're just so cool. There's like keys for the chapter titles, and there's a giant key on the actual like non-dust jacket version. It's so cool. I am a book fanatic. If you have any book recommendations, please put them in a comment, and I'll tell you if I've read them or not, and if I haven't, I will check them out. Another series that's really amazing, well, very good, is the spin-off of the traditional fairy tales, Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress. I haven't actually read Cress yet. It's on my reading list, but I added it in because it's the newest book and it just came out. So Cinder is basically the twist on Cinderella, and she is a cyborg, and it's just, it's a little younger, but it's very well written, and it's worth reading for everybody. And if you like young adult fiction, it's very interesting and very funny. Well, yeah, I think it was funny. I enjoyed it, and the descriptions are wonderful, and the plot's great. I just really loved it. And then Scarlet is basically the twist on Red Riding Hood, and it connects into this one. They all connect together, and it's very good as well. Just a great adventure. And Scarlet, I can't remember. I think she's she delivers food or something. Cinder's a cyborg mechanic. Scarlet's grandmother went missing, and so it's about her trying to find her grandmother, and then obviously she gets introduced to Cinder at some point. And I am looking forward to finding out where this book series is going, because obviously they have a lot more fairy tales to cover here. And I'm interested in seeing where these all end up, because they are all going to connect, I'm sure, and I'm really excited. And this one's about Rapunzel. I haven't gotten that far yet, so I can't give a review on it. But I'm sure it will be amazing. So anyways, if you guys have any other book recommendations or ideas of books that I should check out, please tell me. I'm looking forward to hearing back from you guys, and tell me if you've read any of these, what you think of them. I will be posting a new Sims 2 Let's Go Build episode 9 in a few days, probably next week sometime, and I will hopefully be making a new vlog around then as well. Please subscribe below and check out my description for my blog link, Facebook link, Twitter link, and my Tumblr link. And they all have information on this channel, as well as I will be updating them with posts. Like my Tumblr and my Twitter are more, I'll post stuff related to Sims or design or books and series. Those ones are more general, but they also are a good way to contact me because I'm on them quite frequently. My Facebook page is for updates for my channel, as well as like I will post pictures and updates about when I'll be filming. And my blog is a general blog. I will be blogging about YouTube, about stuff I'm doing, and about events in the future. And also there is a poll on there about your favorite series, and I will be updating that with a second poll about your favorite books. So please feel free to check that out and join in on the poll discussion. You may also tweet me on Twitter, Facebook me on my Facebook page, or check out my Tumblr, and I'll also be posting the Amazon link for all these books in case you're interested in reading any of them. You can just click on that, and then you'll be directed back to my wish list that contains all these books from the vlog. That'll also be on my blog and my Facebook page. And I think I actually posted it on my Twitter and Tumblr as well, but I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!